They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear until it is done.
When id put out that Doom reboot in 2016, it was fucking insane. I could have done a video on it a few months ago, but I had nothing to add that's not already obvious. Like, yeah, glory kills make you play more aggressive, Mick Gordon's soundtrack is fucking weird and wild, and the way the game gives the middle finger to its own story is fucking masterful. But holy shit, I have way more than enough to talk about for this game. So, let's just dive right the fuck in, right? When I do these videos, I like to start out with the premise of the game, just to contextualize what's going on in the footage. But this is Doom. You already know what the deal is. You are Doom Guy, you kill demons. And the Earth is being invaded by demons, so you're gonna kill them. One by one by one. Amusingly, the game kinda opens up after the first act of the plot. You need a MacGuffin in order to kill this Hell Priest, but you just already have it. In any other story, the game would open up with getting the MacGuffin, then using it to kill the guy, but no, this game knows what you want. It's not gonna lead you by the nose. You get to rip this asshole's fucking head off in the first 5 minutes. On the graphics side, this is an id Software game. They are famous for their engine technology. Now, I don't know how much of that was due to the terrifying presence of John Carmack, but that reputation still carries through to this day. This game looks fucking incredible with zero compromises on performance. It runs like butter. That is, after you change the game's process priority, since for whatever reason it defaults to the lowest setting, and it'll keep switching itself off of high priority. I ended up having to download a software to force it to stay on high. I thought that fixed everything since the game was running like a dream, but then I checked my footage, and there's fucking stutters in it, and the entire audio is desynced in a way where I have to manually sync all of the audio. Yeah, I'm a little mad that it created a lot of extra work for me, but it plays perfectly. I have no idea how it fucked my footage, or that Shadowplay could even get fucked like that. On the art side, they've touched up a lot of the enemies to look like their original Doom 2 sprites. So, for example, now we've got the classic green-haired zombie man, the Cacodemon is a lot more lively, the Archvile is here for real with his classic pose, and look at that pain elemental, man, what a cutie. My only complaint is that they made the Slayer extra thick. I prefer the thinner look from 2016 since, in my opinion, it fits better with its ridiculous speed. I mean, the new design is fine, but if you don't like it, there's a ton of unlockable cosmetics for you. And I do mean unlockable. You earn them from playing the game, not buying them with real money. I hate that that's a fucking noteworthy positive nowadays. I mean, you can pay $5 for the unicorn skin, which is actually pretty funny considering they let you wear it in the cutscenes and in the multiplayer.
You are but one man. They are no longer your people to save.
They've also ditched the realistic angle of the art style and have fully embraced being a video game. That gaminess initially kept me away from the game for a while. Like, I already wasn't gonna buy it until it went on sale, and hoo boy, I snagged a good sale, but I didn't even bother pirating it. Having played the game, this gamey look is essential because everything is instantly readable. If they have something to tell you, they'll just tell you outright, as quickly and plainly as possible. Considering the blistering pace of the gameplay, that speed is important. Also, when the DLCs came out, they added these little icons around your crosshair to help read your cooldowns easier. That's nice of them. You know what else is nice? Glory kills are back, baby. If you somehow missed Doom 2016, enemies on low health will get staggered, opening them up for a melee finisher. Now back in my day we called these pre-animated takedowns and they were fucking atrocious, but Doom 2016 showed us just how fucking cool they could be. I know it makes me sound like a psycho, but these animations are so satisfying. When someone's been bullying you for a while, it's so cathartic to just go, "Fuck you, you fucking bitch." Or when someone's been annoying you, so you break their fucking arm and impale their brain on the shattered forearm. Yeah, you get a different animation based on where you're positioned and what you're targeting. My favorite is probably the one where you jump up on an imp, then you get about a half a second to savor the fear in their eyes before adding them to the gunk on your boot. The length of these animations, especially the chainsaw ones, are quite welcome since they give you just enough of a break during combat to scratch your nose or whatever you need to do. Just like everything with this game's presentation, the sound is incredible. The meaty thunk of the shotgun, the thunderous hammering of the assault rifle, the way everything quiets down during a glory kill so you can savor the crunch of a demon's spine, it gets my blood fucking pumping. Alright, now on to the gameplay, cause I'm not forgetting anything, right? That's all there is to say about the audio, right? That's right, Mick Gordon is fucking back. If you're not familiar with how 2016 soundtrack worked, each song is actually broken up into a ton of little pieces, which the game stitches together in real time to match the action. So as the fight's ramping up, the song's ramping up. When the fight reaches its boiling point, the music swells to a crescendo, screaming in harmony with the action. This means that on top of complementing the fight, the music will often sync up perfectly with the action, like you're the musician and your instrument is violence. The soundtrack is a lot more metal this time around, which is fucking kick-ass, don't get me wrong. But I do miss the more synthy angle of 2016, even though most people don't. That doesn't mean the synth went anywhere though, don't worry. To explain what I mean by that, Mick did a GDC talk about 2016's soundtrack, and he repeated the phrase, change the process, change the outcome, which refers to how he basically started from scratch to create such a weird and new soundtrack. With Eternal, I don't think the process changed very much, so the music is still fucking incredible, but it's not weird and new in the same way that 2016 was. He did bring in some fucking crazy ideas though, like he wanted to make a choir, but not just any choir, a heavy metal choir, composed entirely of metal vocalists. So Mick is back, and he's done it again. I would love to stop there, but I can't. This story doesn't end on a happy note. Due to some boring corporate shit that I'm cutting out of the video, the official soundtrack doesn't actually exist. All you can find are re-uploads and other people's mixes. It will also never exist, as Mick and id Software have essentially broken up. When Doom 2016 came out, the joke was that it was basically a playable metal album. Now it's doubly true for Eternal, since the game is the only way you're gonna hear the official soundtrack. This is fucking sad, dude. It's seriously like the Zoomer equivalent of watching the Beatles break up. But they still needed music for the DLC, so they brought in Andrew Holschult, who did the music for Dusk and like every other throwback boomer shooter. From what I can gather, we've lost pretty much all of the synth, and what synth is there is done by co-composer David Levy, but that's understandable seeing as that's apparently Holschult's strong suit. I think he and Levy did a great job, but if you're the kind of person who thinks metal is just noise, you're not gonna like it. I think it's fucking sick, but I'm upset that this even happened. It feels like they're working under Mick's shadow, and that just turns anything nice you say into a backhanded compliment. And I know Holschult can fucking deliver. Yeah, I'm using Dusk music to transition to gameplay, fuck you. Doom 2016 had the glory kills, right? It was like, oh, that's cute, you get health back from staying in close range, so you play more aggressive. They just kind of stumbled into this idea, this mechanical push towards aggression, whereas Eternal has fucking mastered it. They've taken every element of the combat, the weapons, the enemies, the movement, the abilities, etc., and designed everything to have their own place and fit together into one big combat puzzle. Your guns are not toys for you to pick your favorite and run wild, they are tools to solve specific problems. The enemies are not just a particularly violent field of dandelions that you can just run around kicking at your own pace, they are each designed to fuck you over in their own way, and you need to learn the best way to deal with all of them. And I played on Nightmare, so I had to learn every piece of the puzzle and how each one fits in with the big picture. Nightmare is the hardest difficulty behind Ultra Nightmare, which is permadeath, and fuck that. Let me out. That's fucking bullshit. The thing is, the footage for the game is from my second playthrough after beating the DLC, and I've gotten a lot better at the game. You see that green number at the top? Those are my extra lives. I didn't actually die until about halfway through the game, but that's only because I got complacent, and the game punished my hubris by taking those extra lives away. But anyway, right off the bat, there's a lot that you'll be familiar with if you're fresh off the 2016 boat. You'll find weapon mods in the level, 2 for each gun that you can swap out at will. If you kick enough arse, you get arsenal points. Yeah, that's the best joke I had, man. You use them to upgrade the weapon mods, and if you get all the upgrades, you unlock a mastery challenge. Beat that, and you get a substantial upgrade for that mod. Runes are back too, although not as insanely busted as 2016's IdKFA rune. You can slot 3 at a time, and I pretty much always stick with the slow-mo because I'm bad and I need a crutch. The suit upgrades in 2016 were kinda sparse, but now it's completely fleshed out, and the primary upgrades have a whole new layer of depth to them. All these upgrades are paced in a good sweet spot to help you keep up with the rising challenge, but unlike 2016, you never outgrow the challenge with upgrades alone. To get good, you've got to master all your new toys. Within the first few seconds, you get your chainsaw. You press a button and instantly carve a motherfucker in half, breaking them open for that sweet, juicy ammo inside. Then you get your grenade, which is actually useful this time around, and later you get a frost bomb for the same slot. In every clip of me using the equipment, you're also going to see the flame belch. It lights demons on fire. Does that kill them? No, I don't even think it does damage. It makes them drop armor. Video games! Next, you get the blood punch. It's literally just a melee attack that isn't dog shit, but it's on a cooldown. I guess it's called blood punch because that cooldown is based on how much demon blood you get on your hands. It has some specific uses, but I use it as a no shit button. And then, finally, you get your dash. Having a tool like this is insane for mobility and dodging. It becomes so integral to your playstyle that the first few minutes of your second playthrough ends up being kinda clumsy as you try to dodge a Hell Knight and realize you still don't have your dash. And near the end of the game, you unlock your old sword, which is great for when you really need someone dead right now. Once you've got all your tools, you can start to see how Eternal does resource management. And like any other game ever, you scavenge for resources, fight enemies, and then scavenge some more. In Eternal, you do not ever have to stop killing demons, even for a second. Rather than having to stop the fight and slink away for more resources, you are fueled by the fight itself. Need health? Glory kill. Need armor? Flame belch. Need ammo? Chainsaw. Because the game gives you all the tools you need to succeed, it is not shy about making life difficult for you. Your max ammo is ridiculously low. You start with 16 shells max, and the absolute most you can get is 24. Why would you need more? There's tons of free ammo all over the place. You just have to unbox it first. Now, because the player has everything they need, the enemies also have what they need. And by that I mean, they are fucking dangerous. Oh. The enemies are designed like chess pieces. Sure, the basic zombie is weak, but you never want to underestimate the pawn. Yeah, if your muscle memory was to slap them twice like in 2016, you better forget that now. There's 3 main categories of demons: fodder, heavy, and super heavy. Fodder are the pawns. They exist to push you around the level. The rule of Eternal is that if you stand still, you're dead, and it'll probably be the pawns that punish you for not moving. Heavy demons are your rooks, bishops, and knights. They represent a threat that actively demands your attention, and that doesn't just mean shooting at them. The absolute best part of the enemy design is the weak points. A lot of heavy demons have weak points that you can shoot off with either enough damage or a well-placed precision bolt / sticky bomb. If you destroy that weak point, they lose that attack. So Arachnotrons lose their turret. The Mancubus loses his flamethrower. And the Revenant loses his shoulder cannons. The reason I love weak points is that it lets the devs tune the enemies to be really strong, and it's not unfair because it's fully within your control to deal with. The enemies aren't just different colored targets for you to click on, they're each a little problem that you have to actively think about solving. Even if they don't have a specific weak point that can be blown off, all of the enemies have a specific optimal solution to dealing with them. For example, the Pinky is fucking insane now. He's fast, his front armor is insanely strong, and he hits like a fucking 18-wheeler. However, one super shotgun to the ass will blow him clean in half. Or you can just blood punch him in the face, that works too. The Whiplash has armor on its lower body, and it'll slither low to the ground, so you have to figure out how to hit it. Whether that entails using the microwave beam or frost bomb to stun it, using explosives to catch it in the blast radius, or just being good at tracking. The Carcass will throw shields up in your face. Now these can be really fucking annoying, but if you shoot any shield with the plasma gun, it'll explode, so it could actually help you. And the shield shows you exactly where the Carcass is hiding, so you can go run over and fucking murder them for being annoying. I wish real life worked like that. I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Yeah, you won't be touching anyone now, motherfucker. It doesn't really fit in with the rest of the paragraph, but I love the cacodemons. If you shoot a grenade into their mouth, they do this fucking cartoon Tom and Jerry swallow the explosion sound effect and get instantly opened up for a glory kill. It is really fun to land the shot, then leap up onto the cacodemon for the glory kill, then hop off and jump to your next target. Finally, we have the super heavies. These guys are like the queens. They're the black belts in a kung fu movie. They require constant one-on-one attention to kill, and that's their biggest threat. If you devote that one-on-one attention, you can easily get ganked by an imp or two. When you lose a fight with a super heavy, it probably wasn't because they killed you, it was probably because you were too focused on them and got killed by one of the pawns.
God.
Now, if you've played Eternal, you've probably noticed that I haven't mentioned one thing. That's because I didn't want to lump him in with the other super heavies. He gets his own spot in the video. We're gonna talk about the Marauder.
Let me help you to see, Slayer.
I fucking love the Marauder. He has a big shield that'll block all your attacks. If you're in the right range, he'll do an attack that makes his eyes flash green, then you can hit him. If you're too close, he'll whip out his own shotgun, and if you're too far, he'll throw projectiles and summon his ghost dogs. So to kill the Marauder, you have to be committed to do the dance with him. He rips you out of your comfort zone and forces you into something completely different, and these fights really reminded me of playing Bloodborne. I love the Marauder because he's the perfect filter. You can just look up any review, Control F Marauder, and then instantly know if they're just whining because they suck or if they know what they're talking about and have legitimate criticisms. This reviewer actually didn't have any criticisms for the game, but still gave it a 9 for some reason. Like, I have no idea how you can not write a single criticism for the game and then take a point off anyway, but whatever, this tangent was stupid and too long and I had to rewrite it 3 times, so let's move on. Ultimately, all of this builds towards Eternal being the thinking man's shooter. You cannot play it on autopilot, you have to use your brain. And as I've said before, I fucking love using my brain. It's right up there with not using my brain. Everything is balanced and tuned so that it isn't just an addition to the combat, it's an integral part of it. Like the chainsaw isn't just a nice way to get some ammo, it's likely your main source of ammo. Weak points aren't just a nice way to spice up the enemy design, you need to disable them before they disable you. Being fast isn't just there because it's fun, you need to be constantly moving and actively thinking about where you're going, or else you just die. This is the idea of the fun zone. These mechanics, chainsawing, weak points, movement, etc. are fun to engage with. If you're not engaged, you're bored, so they want to keep you engaged, keep you in the fun zone, and if you're not in the fun zone, they fucking kill you. Punishing the player for playing the quote wrong way is an insanely risky decision, but it paid off. Everything is balanced to be challenging but manageable. Some things are kind of unfair, but it's completely in your control to deal with them. They respect you and respect your intelligence. If they have something to tell you, they just go ahead and say it. At times it'll feel like kind of a parody since they'll build up this big bad new enemy, then right when you're about to fight them, they stomp the game dead to tell you how to beat them. I thought this was a little extreme at first, but then I realized that this saves you the time and frustration of trying to figure stuff out for yourself, especially since this environment isn't exactly conducive to learning. They want you to have fun mastering the system, not learning it. Learning's the easy part. That respect for your intelligence also applies to the level design. Everything is designed to be visually parsed in a split second. In my first playthrough, I instantly noticed this particular example. You walk into the arena, the space opens up, and you can instantly know where you're supposed to go. The game isn't yelling at me or forcing me to go over there, it just wants my movement to be part of an informed decision rather than just blind wandering. As much as I truly believe that this is a fucking masterfully executed and well-designed game, I'm not just gonna sit here and jerk it off for 30 minutes or however long this video ends up being. I won't know until I finish recording the voiceover, probably 40 minutes, I don't know. There are legitimate criticisms to be had. Obviously, if you don't like the combat loop, you're not gonna like the game at all. But even if you do, there's still some problems. We'll start on the minor ones and work our way up. A lot of people have criticized the platforming, generally saying that it's a weird pace breaker and that there's just too much of it. I don't agree with that, but only because I was playing on Nightmare and ended fights like this.
What is going on over there? Oh, it's the Archie. No. Oh, thank the fucking Lord. Oh my god. That literally took me like 2 months.
When you are constantly being pushed and challenged, ending fights literally out of breath, you need a minute to just catch your breath and jump around. But if you don't need that breather, then I can see how it'd get annoying. It's just funny to me that its function as a short breather is completely dependent on how much the player is struggling with the game. Due to the demands of the combat system, there's a few things that are just kind of bad, but could be fine on a lower difficulty or with a little balance tuning. I think the meme is the full auto mod for the shotgun.
Full ammo recharge. Uh-oh. Look who came out to play. Arachnotron. Leave it for later.
We shouldn't have done that full auto!
It's kind of awkward to use since you have to hold right click, and that zooms you in and lowers your speed and aim sensitivity, which kind of makes you a sitting duck with tunnel vision in a game that pretty much exists to punish that exact playstyle. My least favorite is the microwave beam for the plasma gun, since it's finicky about locking on, and it takes years of standing still to kill something, and again, standing still gets you killed. The rocket launcher is very strong, but it doesn't feel like it solves any specific problems, so I barely used it. The sword will instantly kill anything, which makes it a great oh shit button, but unlike everything else, it doesn't come out on its hotkey. You have to press the button, wait for the animation to finish, then you can attack with it like a weapon. It's like a half a second of clunkiness in a game that rarely gives you a half a second to fuck around. Finally, the Unmaker sucks. It's supposed to be a reward for finding and beating 6 secret ultra-hard arenas, but it just sucks. It uses your BFG ammo for like a fourth of the impact. I don't get it. The BFG is there as the ultimate oh shit button, and the Unmaker just doesn't serve that purpose at all, while also consuming the same ammo pool. Now we have the stuff that I think just isn't very good. It feels like the major problems with this game stem from the devs trying to improve on the blind spots of 2016's gameplay. Like, people said the game relied too heavily on arena combat, right? So they made the platforming to try to make the out-of-combat sections more engaging. They also made the tentacles, which are kind of weirdly basic, and this fucking purple goo. Why would somebody make something like this, man? This isn't just a bad idea, this is precisely calculated suffering. The one hurdle they keep trying to surpass is boss fights. They really want to make cool boss fights, but the system just can't handle it. I think the Doom Hunters and Marauders created some engaging boss fights, but those worked because they were supported by the arena combat. The Doomslayer is literally kept alive and running by the death of many, many demons. He is physically incapable of the prolonged 1v1 fight that you'd get from a boss battle. The whole point of this intricate alignment of combat mechanics, you know, the glory kills, the flame belch, the chainsaw, it's all to keep the momentum of the fight up. You never have to stop killing demons so you can go nip off for some health or ammo, you can just kill some demons for that. But in boss fights, it completely flips the script, and you have to stop the fight to go, oh, hang on for a second pretty please, as you go nip off to crack some demon spines. Anytime the game wants to do a 1v1, they have to sprinkle in a few zombies too. It just looks lazy. Like, hey there, I heard you needed some ammo. Oh god, ah! But there's nothing else you can really do. Yeah, this fight gave me a hard time on my first playthrough, but I clapped this guy's fucking cheeks this time around. I can fuck up Marauders even in the worst conditions. You think one Marauder's gonna get me? But yeah, the actual quote proper boss fights are inoffensive but kind of weak. The Sentinel Prime boss came kinda close to something like Bloodborne with you quickly dashing to avoid attacks. Calabas was a good watch your step test, and the Con Maker was basically testing the same set of skills. It was nice of them to sprinkle Maker drones throughout the arena so you can just pop the head off of one of them if you need a quick snack. I feel like they realized that traditional boss fights were beyond what they could do, so the final boss is the newly revived Icon of Sin, and it's just a big wall you have to shoot at while managing a normal arena fight. Just like Doom 2. I wonder if John Romero's in there somehow.
To win the game, you must kill me, John Romero.
The story is designed so you can ignore the finer details if you want to, and I did. Sorry Hugo, I kinda just wanted to play the game. However, the story is important because it's what gives context to the action. I didn't section off spoilers because it's a Doom game, like spoiler alert, he kills demons, I don't know. But if for some reason you don't want any spoilers, you can skip to the next chapter of the video. The story isn't actively giving itself the middle finger like in 2016, but the Doomslayer has kept up his status as kind of a rogue element. He's not here to be the good guy, he's just here to kill demons, and I love that. 2016 implied that there were cycles of demon invasions and Slayer sightings, but this time around he's breaking all the rules to make sure that those bastards stay dead. Everyone's like, oh no, you can't do that, but they help you anyway. What are they gonna do? Fight you? It works as a nice power fantasy because this game is fucking hard, so you've earned your reputation as the scariest thing in the room. You go through a nice variety of environments as you learn about how the demons are actually here because the Con Maker needs more Argent energy to fuel heaven. And we all know about how the Slayer feels about Argent energy.
Carefully release the hinges.
Warning. Energy contamination detected.
Originally, they teased a non-consensual multiplayer PvP system like the Dark Souls invasions, and I would have fucking loved that, but they ultimately scrapped that for the empowered demons in the battle mode. I haven't played that much of the battle mode, but it's a really creative way to do multiplayer. The main game is all about the godlike Doomslayer cutting his way through unfair hordes of enemies, so the battle mode pits 2 human-controlled demons against 1 Doom guy. The demons basically have to bully the Slayer to death, and the Slayer just has to kill. I love asymmetrical multiplayer games like this because they just end up being way less toxic. It was a lot of fun finding lobbies that you could just shoot the shit with while shooting the shit out of them. I did have some criticisms for the battle mode, but I think they're about to rework it, so I'm not gonna fucking bother. I had some really good footage of the battle mode, but my power went out and the footage corrupted. But yeah, that was Doom Eternal. We're about to move on to the 2 DLCs, but just to recap, this is easily one of the best games I've ever fucking played. They've completely reinvented the basic FPS gameplay loop and designed every element to keep you thinking and keep you engaged. Also, I learned that the devs are quite active in the community, so Hugo, if you want an interview, man, just hit me up. I would fucking love that. And if you are one of the developers, this might be when you turn the video off, since I'm about to start talking shit. It's time for the DLCs. The setup for the Ancient Gods is pretty straightforward. You've been wiping the floor with the armies of hell, and now it's time to awaken Satan so you can rip his fucking head off and finally put an end to it all. The opening is really riding off the high of the main game. Everyone in the story treats you like a god, and the devs are fully aware that you know how to play the game. The beginning has a lot of things that are specifically there just to fuck with you, and there's this constant sense of Hugo, you bitch! As you get shit like the double marauder, or this room where you walk in and grab a health pack, and then the doors lock you in and a marauder spawns.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Just in case it's not clear, I love this shit. That's kind of the issue with liking skill-based games. You start to sound like an abused child. Like, look how fucking hard my dad just hit me with his marauder belt. I love him. Or, it took me a half an hour to get through one arena. What a cool fight. Just like with the main game, the levels are very pretty, and this DLC takes us to some nice ones. It opens up on an oil rig, then you go to an underwater base, and you can't punch the shark so it automatically fucking sucks 0 out of 10. Then you get some more hell, and finally, demon-infested heaven. They bring in a few more enemies and mechanics, but it's mostly just extra fun and extra challenging arena combat. Then they roll out the spirits. These are so fucking bad that I'm impressed. They're not an enemy on their own, they start out possessing a normal demon, which makes them faster, tankier, more damaging, and it prevents them from getting faltered. When you kill the possessed demon, you then have to use the microwave mod, and only the microwave mod, to kill the spirit, or else it'll just hop into another demon. I'm seriously scratching my fucking head wondering how the design meeting for this went. In Hugo's own words, they're okay with frustrating the player as long as they have something to teach you. Everything else that's unreasonably strong is just trying to teach you a lesson and push you towards a specific playstyle. Weak points give strong attacks, so you need to shoot them off. The Archvile can spawn buff demons, so you have to keep up the pressure on him so he can't summon them. The buff totem will buff an entire area, so you need to focus on evasion while you look for the totem. With the spirit, the lesson is just, there is no lesson. Die. With any demon they possess, the only way to deal with it is to just shoot at it until it dies. That's not inherently bad, that's how the tyrant works. It doesn't have any weak spots or falters, but it also doesn't fucking move. It's balanced around its resilience. So the possessed demon has the resilience of a tyrant, but also the speed and damage of a buff totem demon, with no way to disable that buff. There is no solution, you just have to shoot at it. It goes against everything they were going for when designing this to be the thinking man's FPS. What's funny is that I could probably just excuse it if they fucked off when you killed the possessed demon, but no, you still have to use the microwave mod, which still fucking sucks, to kill them before they hot bodies again.
No! God. Come on, it wouldn't fucking auto-target to him. Oh my god, and now it's in a fucking... Alright. Yep, that's about how I expected that to go. Cool. Yeah, fun.
It feels like they went, oh, nobody's using the microwave mod, and then designed an enemy around that, instead of, I don't know, making the mod not dog shit? I just don't understand. This is like if Einstein, right after publishing his work on gravitational waves, started saying the Earth was flat. Like, I can't say you're incompetent because everything else you've done up to this point was fucking genius, but what the fuck is this, man? The whole DLC was very fun, but every time a spirit showed up, my enjoyment went right through the fucking floor. And guess what the final boss is based around? Spirits! Woohoo! Right? 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 During any part of the game, if you die too many times, the game offers you Sentinel armor. It's basically a pity option to play on easy mode for a little bit. In my view, lowering the difficulty is disrespecting the designers. You're saying that the system, for whatever reason, isn't worth mastering. In this fucking case, that's exactly what I'm saying. Fuck spirits. Oh yeah, the final boss was Samuel Hayden. He's actually the angel that gave you your powers, and he's mad because you killed God, I guess? They were building up this reveal for the whole game, but I didn't really care. Since he's dead, or wait, not dead, I forgot about that. Since he's gone, you can awaken Satan and...
The Dark Lord is the leader of Hell's armies. Not a king, but a warrior of the Dark Realm. The fiercest among them, as only the strongest could rule the demons. He is you, in their world.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's dumb, but like, in a good way, I guess. Overall, I think Ancient Gods 1 was good, but it just leaves a fucking awful taste in your mouth at the end. But thankfully, it's not over. By sheer coincidence, I didn't get around to beating the game and playing the DLC until March, so I just went in straight from part 1 to part 2, with a bad taste in my mouth and everything. When I started playing, the first thing I thought was, damn, this game is pretty. While the gameplay of the DLC kind of fumbles a few things from the main game, the environment art just keeps getting better and better. Rather than just being more levels for Doom Eternal, Ancient Gods 2 actually brings more gameplay additions to the table. Those are a mixed bag, but generally fine. The hammer is the biggest addition. It replaces the sword, but it actually comes out on its hotkeys, so I don't know why the sword can't do that too. It does like 20 things, so every time you use it, you get a hefty chunk of resources for free. The insane part is that it only takes 2 glory kills to recharge. It is absolutely the most overpowered thing in the fucking universe, but you know, whatever man, it's the finale. It's okay to have a little fun, right? Stuff like the Armor Baron, new runes, and Meat Hook Grapple Point are cool, but not really worth talking about. They're fine, just not really discussion worthy. I did find it interesting that some levels will bring in huge imp swarms, which made me actually use the rocket launcher for a purpose, which is something that never happened in the main game. Ancient Gods didn't use spirits in the same way that the first DLC did, and thank fuck for that, but instead there's a few enemies that are just kind of dumb and bad, but generally inoffensive. The worst one is probably the Roller Imp, which you can only kill with the full auto mod for the shotgun. Or the hammer, because of course the hammer works. They're not fucking annoying like the spirits are, but it's still not fun to use the full auto mod, and I really don't like how restrictive it is. There's a new cursed prowler who will cover you in cum and you have to wipe it off on him with a blood punch before you can get back to playing the game. It's not bad, it's just weird. There's an upgraded shield guy whose shield can't be broken at all. It's supposed to make you use the rocket launcher's remote detonation mod, I guess, but that was something I would already use for the normal shield guys, so it just feels gimmicky and dumb. And the last noteworthy one is the new Hell Soldier, who can't be glory killed or chainsawed. That's an interesting, albeit kind of risky design. However, I'm showing you the menu entry instead of the actual enemy because they all have literally 1 health and die to anything, so I really don't know what the intention was here. The lead up to killing Satan is kind of fucking hilarious. You ride a fucking dragon, just in case you thought the story was too grounded. You also did all of the legwork, but the game still does this Avengers Portal scene for some reason. No, I didn't see that movie, but I understand that the point of the scene is that you're seeing a ton of characters on screen who have each been established and set up by a fucking lot of other movies. It's like, oh, whoa, it's Iron Man, oh, it's Thor, whoa. Here it's just, oh, hey, it's that guy. And this final level looks so fucking cool, since there's a constant barrage of fire from both sides. But your allies don't really do anything for you in gameplay, so it's kinda hollow. You spend the whole level just kind of following Satan around, and this arena right before you fight him is fucking rough. It's a good kind of rough though, you know, the fun kind. It feels like this fight was actually balanced around the hammer. The spirit made it really fucking annoying, but it didn't spoil the experience. Now this final fight was all over the promotional material. It's what we've been building up to for 2 games and 2 DLCs. We're here to end this shit once and for all. Hugo said this was gonna be the best boss they've ever done, and it sucks. It sucks. This is supposed to be you from another dimension, but he's just the Marauder with a few more moves. Seriously, he blocks your shots, and you just have to shoot at him when he flashes green. Then hit him with a hammer and unload on him. It's just so boring and not challenging. That doesn't mean it's a cakewalk. I died plenty of times, and it took me like a half an hour to beat him, but that's not because it was challenging, it's because there's a very narrow margin for error. Let me reiterate. The Marauder works because you have to commit one-on-one attention to him, while also avoiding getting tunnel vision and dying to a normal enemy. The Dark Lord doesn't have any backup, and the arena gives you plenty of health, armor, ammo, chainsaw fuel, and zombies that literally do not move. This is exactly what I was talking about before. You need to kill demons to live, so they just threw in a few for you to snack on. He does summon some backup during his last 2 phases, but they can be instantly deleted with the hammer. As the final boss, this should have been a test of your skills in arena combat, you know, the Doom dance they've been teaching you the entire game. I think this would have been really cool as a rival battle, where you have to fight a huge arena full of demons while also competing with the Dark Lord for resources and drops. But no, he just got in his fucking Dread Knight cosplay, and you have to teach him the same lesson that the game's been trying to teach you this entire time. And that is, if you stand still, you will die.
Tell me, have you nothing to say to your creator before you strike him down?
No. Okay, that was a little cringe, but it's over. The demons are fucking gone, and we saved the world. Forever. Right? No. No. Are you fucking serious? That's what they're fucking doing? Really? This whole fucking game has been about breaking the cycle, ending everything once and for all, and they just put you back in the same fucking coffin you started in from Doom 2016. You never broke the cycle at all. Fuck you. Now the demons are gonna come back and we're just gonna wake up like... Between the spirits and the really disappointing final boss and ending, the DLCs left a really bad taste in my mouth, but that doesn't take away from how fucking fantastic this game is. It is easily one of the best games I've ever played. You're gonna hear that phrase a couple more times on this channel, but I really fucking mean it, man. They've created a set of skills that are really fun to master, and I can easily see myself playing it for long enough to beat Ultra Nightmare. That's the end of the scripted video. I'm gonna keep running this song because I like it. Yeah, you can close the video because I'm gonna talk about the channel. This was the... I just finished like going over the video, making sure that like every little thing was right, all the sounds were good. This was the absolute most work I've ever put into a video, and I think it's the best video I've made so far. It's fucking... Whew. But yeah, that was a lot of work. Got unnecessarily delayed by like, for one, school. I've been so fucking busy with school. Oh my god, I'm in my senior year doing game design, so we're doing our final project where we actually make a whole ass game. And on top of that, I was doing modeling and animation. But yeah, also this video is also a big learning experience because I bought a real microphone and I had to learn how to use like the audio interface, the compressor, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, hopefully it sounds good. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but yeah. I also had to move channels. Hi, welcome to the new channel. Oh, glad to have you. Because the old one got its monetization disabled, and this new content is very algorithm friendly, and so there's no... Like, I should have made this channel for the reviews in the first place, but I was just too lazy to, and now I'm actually doing it, so... because I would actually like to get money, and actually the main thing wasn't the money. I was hoping I would have been content with just kind of ignoring the monetization problem. The main thing was that I use video chapters, like the YouTube video chapters feature. I use that to help make the video easily parsed. Like in this video, I don't even make a specific timestamp. I just mention go to the next video chapter, and for whatever reason they disabled chapters for my channel, and like. It's complete, there's no like setting or like, there's no way for me to turn it off or on. They just decide whether or not your channel has chapters. I don't know how you abuse the chapters feature or how you establish yourself as a chapter abuser, but that was the main thing, was that like the video quality was worse because I was relying on the chapters feature and it wasn't fucking enabled on the channel anymore. But yeah, Jesus Christ. So if you like the video, just, let me know. Just leave a little comment, leave a little smiley face. You don't have to say anything, because you see a view, you see a like, it just feels like a statistic on a page. But you see a comment where somebody's like, oh, good one, dude. That makes you feel a lot better. And of course, if you have too much money or you hate money, you can subscribe to my Patreon and join my 2 other patrons. And I didn't do the plug early enough in this little rant, so I'll put them up on the I'll put them up in the credits before this rant even started. That's the great part about editing. But yeah, I'm very glad to have this video done because it was a lot of work and I think it turned out really well. Future videos, I really wanted to do Cruelty Squad, but now it's kind of going mainstream, so I might do it anyway. But I really wanted to do Cruelty Squad, but yeah, future video probably a good cowboy game that I played. That'll be really fun. That'll be a fun short video. But yeah, there's definitely going to be more videos coming to this channel because we're literally in the last week of school right now, so I'll have a little bit more free time. Like we're doing our final presentation tomorrow, and yeah, it's a little stressful. But yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you later. I've definitely talked longer than like the remaining music track I have, so. But yeah, see ya.